Well, Iraq will still remain a concern, but right now, the southern fields, which contribute about 90% of Iraq's production, is still very far away from where the fighting is. So there is considerable doubts in the market right now that production from these southern fields will be disrupted. But if there's any hints of a threat to the southern fields, then prices are going to go back up. Well, right now we've seen Brent prices come off from the highs of around 115 around the late June. And I think that prices will probably remain fairly steady in the near term because the market has already factored in the expected resumption in Libyan exports. But and in the short term, it's unlikely that oil prices are going to rise above 110. And this is assuming there is no disruption in the Iraqi southern fields and that the Libya does not face further problems with its export terminals. Yes, there will be some growth in demand, and this will be led mainly by the developing nations. The IEA said in its recent report that its forecast for global oil demand growth over 2014 to 2019 will be about 1.3% a year. And that is mainly coming from the non-OECD countries because demand from OECD nations in that period is expected to dip about 0.3% a year. And this year, for the first time, oil consumption in non-OECD countries is going to exceed OECD nations. And that a lot is due to demand growth in Africa, in the Middle East, and still to some extent China. Well, the force majeure at the Ras Lanuf and the Asida export terminals have been lifted and they have reopened. And the market seems very optimistic that exports from these terminals will restart very soon, possibly in the next few days or in the next 1 week. So right now, the expectations are very high that the exports will resume. But yes, if there are further disruptions and further problems, then I think we're going to see prices go back up towards the 110, 115 levels.